best radio station.
The all-day special with Dave Haley on Expat Radio.
This dynamic duo is the authority on taking the overwhelm out of leading a healthy lifestyle. Champion you to build a foundation for health, happiness, and success. They are leading a revolution on physical, nutritional, and emotional empowerment, helping you find a balance between work, family, and self. They strive to maximize your personal success, overcome your challenges, transform your body, increase your energy, attain your goals, and focus on overall wellness so you can feel consistently better about yourself and can perform better in all physical, nutritional, and emotional awareness. Introducing renowned health strategists, life trainers, global speakers, authors, coaches, entrepreneurs, motivators, the one and only powerhouse couple, Craig and Jenny D.
Right, we're getting the guys on the line this morning. How the devil are you, all of you?
Oh, we're doing tremendous. How are you doing?
Awesome. How you doing?
Very well,
awesome.
very well, very well. It's chucking it down with rain, and I'm sat here with my swimming armbands on just in case I have to disappear quick. That's
tremendous. How are you doing?
Awesome. How you doing?
Very well,
Awesome.
very well, very well. It's chucking it down with rain, and I'm sat here with my swimming armbands on just in case I have to disappear quick.
Oh, David, you always make us smile and laugh in the morning.
Absolutely.
I'm loving it.
That's trap wind, girl. That's not me making you smile. That's a bit of trap wind with all that roughage you're eating.
How do you know what I'm eating this morning already?
I know what you're having. You'll be eating a branch off a tree or something like that that's healthy, won't you? You know what you're up to. Anything like it. You never see a fat squirrel, do you?
True, you don't.
That is true.
There
Well,
you
I'm
go.
telling you what, though, you are in for a surprise this morning, David, because you think that Craig and I have a lot of energy. Telling you what, Mr. Chris Burns, he is just a rock star, and he's gonna take this morning's show to an amazing new level. And it's 3:00 in the morning where you are.
Well, hey,
right?
Yep, 3 a.m.
Morning,
3
Chris.
a.m.
How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, Dave. Thanks. How are you doing?
Very well, sir. Very well. What are you doing up at this time of the night? Yeah, that's the middle. It's neither morning or night, is it? 3:00 in the morning. It's like after o'clock.
Well, hey, I figure when life presents an opportunity, when amazing people like Craig and Jenny invite you to do something like this, I say yes and figure out how later.
So the question for you is, did you stay up all night to be on with us, or did you go to bed and get up at 2:30 to be on with us?
That's a great question. And it actually leads into one of the philosophies that we teach at Burn Up Coaching and becoming your greatest possible self. And the best way to win tomorrow is by preparing today. So I prepared by going to bed at 7:30 p.m. yesterday to get plenty of sleep so I could get on and have tons of energy.
My
Time. So. I love it. I love it. Well, I'll tell you what, we actually just flew home from LA on Sunday night on a red eye. So I think I was in bed shortly after you last night, Chris. I was in bed around 7:30 as well. As soon as we got our little one tucked in, I'm still trying to figure out the time zone thing. I'm still on California time. So
Taking care of ourselves, so important.
Exactly. You got to do what you got to do so that you're good for the next day.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's real quick give our audience an idea of who you are, because they're like, wow, who is this crazy guy up at 3:00 in the morning to be on the show with us? And we are so grateful for you to be here. And we just knew that when we met you, probably 5-6 months ago now, that we had to have you on the show. And we're so excited for you to be here. So, Chris, you have a really, really interesting background that I want to share with the audience. Chris really struggled in many ways growing up. He kind of felt lost in backstory with us, Chris. But you've hired numerous coaches, and you actually invested over 10,000 hours into fields of communication, business, and leadership. And now in your business, you actually coach entrepreneurs and leaders to overcome their obstacles, eliminate their self-sabotage, and to go to get into the flow so that they can build a better business and make a bigger impact in the world. I can't believe this. You have spoken more than 90 live events across the U.S. just in this past year, Chris?
It's actually since I started my career, but that was about 3 or so years ago.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. So it's definitely been a lot of growth, but I'm proud of, because I believe if you want to achieve something in life, you got to play full out. You got to go all in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're just inspiring people all over the place, which is awesome.
Yeah, and this next piece will blow our listeners away, because I know when we first heard it, and this is how we got to know you by being on your show. You actually have interviewed over 185 inspirational role models, influencers, and leaders on your weekly, and get this, guys, 12-hour straight live streamed marathon and podcast, which is called Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. So not only does this man get up at 2:30 in the morning so he can be on our radio show at 3 a.m., but every Wednesday he runs 12 hours straight live on Facebook doing this podcast. So it's like a 12-hour marathon where you're interviewing people 1 hour at a time. It's so amazing and so impressive. I just love it.
Thank you. Yeah, the 12-hour marathon is really my baby, and it's actually I think the number is closer to 235 people that we've interviewed in the last year or so. We started last February 10th or so, and it just ever since then it's been growing. Last February 10th or so, and it just ever since then it's been growing. People, for everyone listening, for all of our listeners, when you start something, challenge yourself to get outside of the box. Challenge yourself to think differently than everyone else thinks, because nobody was doing a 12-hour marathon, let alone an 8-hour or 4-hour marathon every week of personal development or whatever your topic of interest it is. So I know one of my superpowers is high energy. Another one of my superpowers is being incredibly disciplined. And I knew I could be disciplined long enough and to be consistent long enough to get people to start to notice. And if you're building a brand, if you're building a business, the biggest thing that will win in the long term is, 1, consistency, but 2, keeping yourself front of mind, top of mind, so that people keep seeing you and they can't get away from you, and they can't get away from you, and they see you every week all the time. And that's really been the objective, and to put out great quality content that inspires people and helps them become their greatest possible self.
That's fantastic. I mean, how, the one thing you said is, and people ask us the same thing, and so I'll ask you, it's like, so how did you have you always had this high energy? Did you find it? Did you get it? How do you keep it?
Did you buy it? Because everybody wants to buy a quick fix.
I'm still working on the recipe to package it up and sell it, because I've gotten numerous requests.
Let us know. We'll go in partnership with you when you find it.
I love it. So, yeah, I would say I was pretty competitive from an early age, playing video games. That was my source of inspiration, of drive. That was the only thing I really wanted to do. And my parents forced me to get outside and go make friends and play sports and stuff like that, but created this desire to learn as well as win. And that desire to learn and win in video games, and to explore and to grow and to literally level up my character in these video games and grow and become an epic, powerful character, is what translated into my journey. But I started seeing this disconnect between what I wanted to feel, which was powerful, out in reality. I wanted to feel confident. I wanted to feel connected with people. I wanted to feel like life was working for me. But every time I went into school, for example, I transferred to a new school in middle school around the age of 12, I felt like a loser. I felt disconnected. I felt like nobody understood me. And it was really painful those years. And I saw, looking back now, I see all these patterns of how I was trying to prove myself, how I was trying to be liked, how I was trying to have apathy, of how I was trying to prove myself, how I was trying to be liked, how I was trying to just get noticed, get attention. And so that continued for the next couple of years, and it caused a lot of damage in my life because I just didn't feel like anyone got me, and I wasn't able to communicate effectively, and that led me to being a severe introvert and kind of spiraling down in this place of apathy and no one gets me. I don't believe in God. My parents don't love me, even though, I had all this love and amazing care from my parents. All they wanted was for me to succeed, but I couldn't see it because of the perspective and the filter that I was looking at life through.
Wow, that's that's amazing, and you're just making me think too, because this is the first time we've had a chance to talk with you about your story, right? And last time we were together, you were interviewing us, and so this is amazing to hear. And I'm just thinking of, there's so much that you can even do with this story, because I can see you inspiring children around the world that are in the same position that you were in at one point. We have 5 children ourselves, and we have wonderful children, but at times, they feel a lot of times the exact same way that you did at times, where, lost in some way because maybe they're not connecting at school, and other kids don't understand them if they're different in some way. And this becomes so important because it really influences their confidence as they're going out to do things. Yes. And so basically, I'm just asking you to come live with us and help us raise 5 kids.
Oh my God, it'd be like Nanny McPhee gone wrong.
But no, I think it's amazing that you were able to channel that and turn it into something else, because like you said, that dedication that you used to feel as a child in winning in those video games, you were able to channel that and turn it into something else, because like you said, that dedication that you used to feel as a child in winning in those video games, you were able to channel that back, even though you felt lost and alone at one point, and put that back into what you do now, and take that same passion and energy and put it into your business. And that's truly amazing. And we can only hope that many other children around the world can find a way to do that, because we all have our own special talent. And we live in a world right now, and I'd love to get your feedback on this, where everybody wants to be the same, right? It's kind of like a me too. Oh, I want to be like her. I want to be like him. And I think that that's one of the worst things that our children can be doing. They should want to be who they are and the best of who they are. And that's going to mean that they're going to look different than every other child out there in many different ways. And that's how they're going to find their greatest success, right? If you had tried to be like everybody else that you grew up,
how we should, and really just getting into the wrong crowds, because I was seeking and searching, who am I really, and what is really going to bring me to life. I believe we all have a guiding compass, a GPS, a greatest possible self within each of us that shows us how we should live life, that inspires us with a vision of who we could become if we put in the energy, who we're meant to become, if we invested, if we are disciplined, if we have the practices and habits to become that person. And so I recognized that I started going off track, and I got in trouble a couple times. And one of these rock bottom moments, I was at a rave, and I got in trouble. And basically, to make a long story short, the next thing I know, I'm in a really dark and scary place, and I got arrested. Luckily dismissed, but it was in that moment where I had to tell my parents where I was and what had happened, that I just felt my heart break open, and I felt like I had this fork in the road of I could choose to continue going down this path of destruction and being ungrateful and taking things for granted and wind up back in this place again, or I could choose a new direction. I could choose to be my greatest possible self. I could choose something that feels in alignment with my soul and my best self. And so I started turning things around. And really that's what everyone should look for. What is it that inspires you? And I believe that coaches and mentors and leaders are all around us. We can gain wisdom. We can learn and refine our direction, refine our habits, refine our practices through seeking that knowledge and asking for help, seeking the right mentors, seeking the right teachers. Really, though, it's at the end of the day, it's us that we have to go to bed with at night.
Yeah.
So
You got that right.
who are we becoming? Who are we being? You can ask yourself these two questions for our listeners. Do I like who I'm becoming? That's number one. It's like the vision of who you're becoming, the direction. And number two is, do I like who I'm being right now? Right now, in this moment, for any process, anything in your life. Maybe you have a job that's not so great. You don't really like it that much, but you're becoming someone that you want to become. Or maybe you're going through this health challenge, 90-day sprint, and you really like who you're going to become, but you don't like who you're being on the process to get there. And I believe that there's a way to enjoy both of those so that we're constantly in alignment with that greatest possible self to make good decisions and be healthy, have joy, experience love, all that good stuff.
I'll tell you
Wow.
that's
I
fantastic.
believe that there's a way to enjoy both of those so that we're constantly in alignment with that greatest possible self to make good decisions and be healthy, have joy, experience love, all that good stuff.
I'll tell you that's fantastic. I mean, it's like you said that, and it reminded me of one of our favorite quotes by Mark Twain, which is, I mean, the two most important days of your life are the day that you were born and the day you find out why.
Wow.
And I thought, I think that makes people really think out there. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go on a little music break, and then we're going to come back to you, Chris. So we've got Rudimental and Just...
I can't get my teeth to work this morning. I can't speak.
There you are.
Hello.
Hello there. How's it going? Okay. Bang on.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's doing swimmingly over
my-
here.
Is it really? I'll be swimming very soon if this rain doesn't stop.
Are you swimming in your leotard this morning, Dave?
No. I've been sat there in my chair singing "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream" because it'll be blooming white rafting in a minute. It's not stopped raining for about 2.5 days at the moment. And this this little stream at the bottom of our garden, it's like River Mersey now. Or, well, you won't know the River Mersey. It's probably like the Mississippi. By the end of tomorrow, it'll be bigger and wider than you've ever seen it. But anyway. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope that you get home safely today.
Oh, no. Well, I'm here. I'm in home. The studio's in the house.
Well, it's a good thing that you know how to swim. That's all I have to say.
I don't. Once you get to 10 meters after that, I've had it.
I can see you right now with your big orange swimming going out there in the backyard.
Well, the thing that made me laugh was when I got my 10-meter swimming badge. I was in a 25-meter pool, so I'd swum 10 meters, and I thought, what do we do now? I can't go any further. And I'd only learnt to do 10 meters in the kids' pool, and they put you in the adults' pool that's 25 meters. So I've gone 10 meters, and I'm thinking, right, well, I've got another 15 meters here before I drown. So I'm trying to get to the side. I've gone 10 meters.
Next to the wall, David.
I know.
So when you get to 10
I've gone
meters,
10 meters
you
forward,
can
and then I'm going
grab onto the wall.
3 meters sideways, trying to get to the side before I drown. Anyway, I should have a 13-meter swimming badge.
Speaking of being stuck and overwhelmed, Chris, I think he was right there.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about your childhood a little bit later, Dave.
I know.
Yeah.
No, don't even go down. Never.
Later, Dave.
I know.
Yeah.
No, don't even go down that road. Carry on with Chris Hemsworth. I can't believe what a great. The other thing as well, right? Never have a swimming lesson in a leotard when you're a kid. That's another thing that you'll never get over. Any children out there that are listening to
the other thing
this?
is, David, too, I think part of your problem was, the leotard, you could swim in that. It's when you put the tutu on, it holds you back in the water. It creates resistance.
Well, he's
It's
still,
friction.
he's still ladder. You know the ladder that you go down when you get in the pool. If you get that trapped round the handles on the handle on the ladder, you end up. It's like a bungee. 'Cause you get that wrapped round your leotard. You're going 4 meters, and all of a sudden you think, "Well, hold on a minute, I'm going fast backwards here. What's that all about?" That's another story.
Oh, I love it. All right. So back to Chris Burns here. For
yes.
those of you that are just joining in with us, Chris Burns is the founder of Have Both. He is an amazing man. He's up with us from California this morning. So it's 3 a.m. We're about 3:30 in his world right now. And we are so grateful to have him with us this morning. And right before we left off, he was talking about feeling good in where you're going in your life, but also feeling good in where you are in the moment right now, and how important it is to have both of those things. And it really got me thinking because, you know, Craig and I in our own business and in our personal lives have really learned to start to feel into that. Because a lot of times we set these big lofty goals for ourselves out there, and we know that when we get there, we're going to feel good, right? And we always say, oh, I'll feel good when, I'll be happy when. But the question is, do you feel good along the journey? Do you feel good right now in the process of getting there? Because if not, we call that resistance. And what we've learned to pick up is that we're resistance. And what we've learned to pick up is that if we're feeling resistance where we are right now, no matter what the goal is that we're working towards, then we're probably not on the right path to get where we're going, or we're heading in the wrong direction. And so we've really started in our own lives to tune into that resistance, whether it's in our personal lives or in our business. And when we feel that, to step back from it for a moment and look into it and say, gosh, is this the right direction? Something feels off here. And it's looking at what Chris calls that internal GPS, because that GPS is leading us to our greatest possible self. So Chris, talk for a moment for me, if you will, about this, because, you know, one of the questions we were going to ask you here is what keeps high achievers stuck and in overwhelm? And I know for us, that is one of the things that when we're facing that resistance, a lot of times we do feel stuck and we feel very overwhelmed. That is one of the things that when we're facing that resistance, a lot of times we do feel stuck and we feel very overwhelmed because we're swimming upstream, if you will. So what's your take on that with high achievers and how they get stuck and overwhelmed?
Yeah, I would say this is a great question, because a lot of people come to the show looking for answers on how to increase their performance, how to be more effective, how to grow, how to make more money, how to achieve more happiness. And one of the things that they get stopped by is that they just want to do more. And oftentimes the answer to creating your breakthrough, to transcending your problem, to finding a solution, to really having clarity on what to do next is not to do more, but rather to do less.
I love it.
Yes,
to
exactly.
create space in your life. And that space comes from breathing. You can simply, when we close our eyes, our brain has more capacity to think and just be in process. So that's like super secret, easy secret number one is to close your eyes and just, it's like meditating. You know, I believe meditation is just any practice where you're being mindful of your thoughts, where you're aware of yourself, where you're aware of your surroundings, how you feel. So start tuning in, and you can do that by creating space, by not having to go all the time. And I find that when we close our eyes and we start to listen to ourselves, we can tune into that internal GPS. The challenge is with high achievers, high performers, leaders, visionaries, influencers, people who want to have an amazing life. We've been sold the dream that we just have to work a little bit harder. We have to grind it out a little bit more. We have to exert force. We have to force something to be a certain way. And life was not meant to be this struggle. Life was not meant to be this struggle. Maybe for, slaves and stuff, Thank you for all the slaves in Egypt or our country, United States, or all around the world that have created such an incredible work ethic. I'm sure they didn't choose it, but they demonstrated that work ethic. And now we have been given and granted access to freedom. Thank God, or whatever you believe in, universe, source, creator, yourself, whatever. But thank something that we have this power of freedom, and we can choose to create space. We don't have to be in this hamster wheel. We don't have to be rat race.
It's like, when you think about it, it's like, the hamster wheel, or even thinking about, or talk about, living in a box. It's like, it seems like we're all living in this box, and we've been told, this very similar story that, you're just talking about right now, which, I'll tell the story maybe a little different way. That's all. Listen, Craig, get a good education and then make sure you go off to college, and then you find yourself a wonderful woman to marry, have some kids. Actually, they just wanted grandkids. And then, then you work your job, you have this wonderful retirement plan, you make money, and you live happily ever after. And that's all you should do. And it should all work out just fine, because that's the story that we've been told. But that's not the story that we need to live. We need to get ourselves out of that box and actually see the light so we can make our own path.
That's right. That's right. And there's so much opportunity for creation, for creating something new, for looking at what's the next trend, what's the next invention, the next innovation, the next new thing. And I believe if everyone around the planet had the aspiration, what's the next trend, what's the next invention, the next innovation, the next new thing. And I believe if everyone around the planet had the aspiration, what's the next new thing? How could I be a part of that? How could I really step into that creation, making something new, something special? We have the power of infinite intelligence and creative genius to tap into. So ask yourself, everyone listening, are you truly tapping into your power? Are you truly giving yourself space to listen to your GPS and be guided by your highest self, your greatest possible self?
Yeah. And, the other thing that you mentioned is about, meditating. And, meditating doesn't have to be just sitting in silence and listening to your breath, although that works extremely well. And I'll do that. Jenny will do that. But ultimately, that meditating is, I like what you just said, just kind of closing your eyes and listening out there to kind of odd. But the bottom line is it's what is personal to you. And for some people, I know they meditate a couple hours in the morning and in silence. And that, personally, that's not for me. But I do meditate in the morning or sometimes at nighttime, even sometimes during the day. But it is just listening to what's going on out there and listening to that voice that's happening.
Yes, and in the simplest way, I believe if our listeners want to get started, whether you're an advanced meditation practitioner or you practice meditation or you're just getting started, the easiest way is to just breathe and notice your breaths, count your breaths. That's one of the easiest, safest places to start, and it really just gets you back in tune with your body, because so many people are out of their body, thinking about things outside of them, stressed out, overwhelmed. We talked about this, Jenny was mentioning it. These people who want to live a great life, we talked about this, Jenny was mentioning it. These people who want to live a great life, their thoughts are constantly somewhere else, either in the future or in the past. And I know that one of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves and experience is being present in this moment. So for all of our listeners, if you haven't done it in a while, take a deep breath in and just breathe in life. Breathe in the joy. Breathe in that you're alive. Breathe in, even if the world is going to hell in a handbasket or things are going crazy around you, just breathe in and be grateful, because you have something. You have breath. You have a car. You have clothes on your back. You have a roof over your head. You have people who care about you. You have access to great information like this. Start with that gratitude. Breathe. And just allow the joy to fill up within you.
Yeah, we've said this before on the show. Rocco is probably more famous on this show than any of the other kids, just because he can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago, and he doesn't even care what's going to happen 5 minutes going forward. He is living completely in the moment, and we've told everybody this before. But there was it was like last year, a year and a half ago, and we were like, oh, remember when we went to Disney? And he just looked at us like, we went to Disney, and he couldn't remember that.
Yeah, we actually literally,
couldn't remember that we went to Disney. And it was for most people, really at that point in time, even including us, we were like really? But that is the gift that he's got, and he just enjoys life.
Yeah, whereas the other kids were still thinking, gosh, I wish we were still in Disney. If we could just be back in Disney, the world would be good. And he's like, I could care less that we went to Disney. It was fun, but the world is good right now. I don't need Disney to have a good day, right?
Wow. Wow. And how many people are out there waiting for that someday, waiting to find the dream man or woman, waiting to get into the house, maybe that's
It's good right now. I don't need Disney to have a good day, right?
Wow. And how many people are out there waiting for that someday, waiting to find the dream man or woman, waiting to get into the house, waiting to get the promotion or get the new career, get the financial success and stability. It's that someday maybe that steals our joy. And I believe that the essence of living a great life is being present, being grateful, and being happy, being satisfied, always striving for more, always committed to growing, and being satisfied and grateful and fulfilled with what we have now.
That's right. That's so true. And it's like, look, we all have an endless to-do list, right? We all do. Mm-hmm. And so when you going back to what you were saying about working harder, we'll still never get it all done. So the question is, are we going to bury ourselves underneath that working harder? I got to do. Or are we going to take a step back and actually, that means the good and the bad moments, because we will have those, right? We're not saying here this morning that all we have are good moments and it's happy-go-lucky all the time, because that's not reality. But I always say, your life is a perfect example of synchronicity and flow. That means that in the good moments, we need to take them in for everything that they are and savor them with all of our senses, right? What do we taste? What do we smell? What do we see? What do we hear? What do we feel? And then in the bad moments, when we're presented with a challenge of some sort, we need to enjoy that for what it is to teach us, right? Because every time we're faced with a challenge in our lives, it's presented to us for a reason that we can learn and grow from it. So as much as it may feel challenging in the moment, we can also spin that to say, okay, I'm faced with this challenge. Now, how do I learn and grow from this so that I'm not presented with this same challenge over and over again, right? Much like you did as a young person trying to refresh, like you did as a young person trying to reframe your life and find a new way when you were in trouble.
Yeah, and really our life is a result of the perspective that we have. If we see and feel that we are not enough, we will continue to create that. We will continue to have situations that come into our life that make us feel that. We'll attract a tire going flat and be like, see, I knew I wasn't enough. I knew I wouldn't be able to get to work on time today. I knew it. I knew it. We're constantly trying to prove our perspective and be right. And what we have the ability to do is focus. We human beings have this incredible ability to choose our focus. So what do you focus on? Do you focus on the gift? We like to ask it at Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self, what's the gift? What is the gift in all of this? There's a gift. There's a lesson that life is attempting to teach you. And God, I'm grateful. It's the gift to cherish your moments with them, to really soak up each and every breath that you are able to spend with this person. If you're going through a financial hardship, what's the gift? Is the gift to learn how to feel abundant and empowered and alive and grateful, even though your external circumstances and bank account might not reflect it? You can still choose how you feel. It's your thoughts. It's your body, your emotions. You get to be the creator of your reality. Your bank account does not dictate who you are or how you feel. Neither does your home, neither does your job. That is you. And when you take personal responsibility for that, for everyone listening, when you take personal responsibility for saying, I really don't like how this is making me feel, I'm going to change it. I'm going to do something about it. I choose to be the creator of my reality, making me feel, I'm going to change it. I'm going to do something about it. I choose to be the creator of my reality, and I choose to focus on what I do want. How can I take a step in the right direction right now? Who do I know who can help me with this? What's a resource that I can find to help me make progress? So be aware of that and know that you can be responsible to take your next step in a direction that you do want to go.
That's so right on. That's spot on, Chris. I love it. I love it. Everything that you just said there. It's so important. And, for those of you out there that might doubt it, just try, even for the next day, for the next 2 days, for the next week, try to focus on how you're feeling and not on the specifics of the circumstance. Focus in on saying, I'm happy. I am free. I am passionate. I am loving. Focused in on all these things. Just focus in on the feeling and pick good feelings, and you will see your world actually change right before your eyes. So with that being said,
Speaking of worlds.
speaking of worlds, we are going to go to Duran Duran, an ordinary world, and then we'll be right back with Chris Burns.
With the guys this afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time you are in the world. We've got listeners. I know, it's mad, isn't it, when you work out time zones around the world. I was just looking at the analytics, and we've got listeners in Japan. But what I was thinking was, when I thought Japan, I was thinking to myself, how do you know? You know, when you've seen someone's handwriting in any other world, you think, well, that's scruffy, or that's not bad, that's nice and tidy. And I've never seen a scruffy Chinese writer or a Japanese writer. How would you know if, with all the lines everywhere, how do you know if it's good or if it's bad?
Maybe, I wonder how they grade their kids on handwriting in school.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. You wouldn't know. That's a straight line, that's quality, that's a bit, you know. How would you know if Japanese writing's neat and tidy?
I'm telling you what, they know, though. It's just it's our ignorance that we don't know.
Exactly. You never see, everything's in lines, isn't it?
That we don't know.
Exactly. You never see, everything's in lines, isn't it? You wouldn't have a clue if it was a bit bendy or something. Someone's saying that's a bit skew if you've not done that right. Crazy, isn't it?
It's just us, David. We're the only ones that don't know.
Yeah, or Arabic. How do we know if Arabic writing's tidy? There's another one. You don't know, do you?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they know, though.
Yeah.
They know. Yeah. It's just us. It's
just my mind working overtime again.
Hysterical. Oh, gotta love it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Chris Burns of Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. And for those of you that have not yet tuned in with Chris, every Wednesday he does a 12-hour live marathon on Facebook. So he's going to tell us at the end of today's show where you can find him. But man, you got to listen in. This man's amazing, and he has more energy than any human I have ever met. And so that's Orange County, California,
yes, he was,
on the phone with us, and the energy was just coming straight through the phone. And you're this way all the time. I mean, it's 3:48 in the morning where you are. And you're still full of energy. So let's hear it, man. How do you keep up your energy?
Great question. So first off, drink lots of water. And I'm sure you've probably heard this so many times, but it's really crucial that you get it and you live it. It's one thing if you're actually doing it, if you're actually executing on it, because drinking tons of water has been my source of great energy. It hydrates me. It keeps me, literally, I think our body is 60-70% water. So
exactly,
when you're dehydrated, your body is struggling, is creating stress, and it's not able to process its processes as efficiently as possible. Process its processes as efficiently as possible. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and let's just clarify with our listeners, not every liquid is water. Like, we're talking pure, clean water.
Like water.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. A lot of people that we talk to, they're like, well, what about tea? Isn't that water? It's made from water. And isn't coffee made from water? And isn't soda made from water? And it's like, yeah, but that's not water.
Yes, I drink like a gallon of water every day. So that's, figure out what's for you, what's your recommended approach based on your nutritionist or your health coach or your doctor, whatever works for you. I'm not a licensed medical professional, so don't come to me for advice on that. But I'd say water. Water is a huge part for me. Number 2.
I tell you, Chris, before you go to number 2, what you want, you know those water, the water butts that you can have in offices that you have with the cups at the side. Well, I've got one. Like a NASCAR driver, I've got my helmet on and I've got a straw there and I'm sucking on this water coming out there. You won't believe it's like an oxygen tank being sucked out.
So that's perfect, because what Dave just said is he made it easy for him to have water. So everyone listening, do you make it easy for yourself? Do you have multiple cups or water bottles around you throughout your day? Do you have the ability to refill it easily, quickly, effortlessly? That's important. That's super important. So I'm really grateful you said that, Dave. How are you integrating it into your environment? Do you have these things around you so you don't have to walk a mile to go refill your water? have it ready, have it close by. So that's number one, water. Number two, this might seem a little strange, but I chose to shift my beliefs. As human beings, we have the power to choose what we believe, and our beliefs create our reality. So I believed, well, matter and energy are neither created. As human beings, we have the power to choose what we believe, and our beliefs create our reality. So I believed, well, matter and energy are neither created nor destroyed. Matter and energy, neither created nor destroyed. So I said, okay, if matter and energy are neither created nor destroyed, what if I imagine that I am already full of energy, and I can choose to go from low energy and lethargic and tired and apathetic to high energy and excited and enthusiastic. And all I have to do is literally choose that. All I have to do is shift my perspective and what I think that I am. If I have an identity, if I have at some level it says who I am is someone who doesn't have a lot of energy, then I will not have a lot of energy. Who I am is someone who's not enthusiastic. Who I am is someone who's not good around people. Who I am is someone who isn't able to stay focused. Then that's who I become. So I said, I want to change that. I want to be bad or be as energized, enthusiastic, connected with people. So I said, I created a metaphor, an analogy. If the universe has as much energy as I could possibly want, because it does. Matter is neither created nor destroyed, neither is energy. What if I'm a battery charger? I'm a battery charger, and I plug into, like if you imagine you grab a plug in your hand, you're holding a plug in your hand, and imagine plugging it into thin air, but in that thin air is the universe. You plug into the universe. You plug into universal energy as much as you want. And out of that plug runs an imaginary wire into your body, and you are a battery charger. You have as much energy as you want. You plug into the universe or the life. You plug into life, and you get energy from that, and you become a battery charger. And you're not a battery that runs out of energy as the day goes on, but rather you're a battery charger, and you can create energy as the day goes on, but rather you're a battery charger, and you can create and generate as much energy as you want. And I literally took on that perspective, that belief, and now I show up as a battery charger.
I love it. And if anybody out there doesn't believe that this is true, right, all you have to do is think about your energy, and when you walk into the room and you encounter somebody that is very low energy and negative, right? What do? They can zap your energy. So we really do have, if you don't believe in this energy thing, just think into a situation like that, or the opposite, right? When you walk into a room and there's somebody like Chris that is full of energy and they lift you up, right? Energy is so powerful, and we can, in our own minds, create that. Just like you said, Chris, this is so important. And I know we only have about a minute and a half left here, but I want to ask you very briefly if you can tell us, what do you believe is the best way for somebody to develop greater confidence?
So the best way is, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It's yours. It feels good to you. It's important to you. It's what you value. And so many people in the world are trying to people please. So many people in the world are trying to just get by, trying to be accepted, trying to be loved. So my number one tip is to find your personal vision, your mission, your purpose in life, and go freaking live it. When you're living that, when you're clear on that, when you've designed your future and you create a compelling future that is so worth it, that no matter how many people call you stupid, you say, well, thanks for sharing. I'm going to keep going for my vision because I'm committed to that life. And then continuing to surround yourself with amazing people like Jenny and Craig and Dave and myself, you will be able to finally achieve that. You will finally weed out all the naysayers and negative Nancys and people who don't believe in you, and start attracting the amazing people who say, yes, you can do that. You deserve it.
Love it. Like we always pop your head up. You're like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Then somebody comes along and they shove you back in the box like the Jack in the Box. Like, don't do that, man. Don't let them shove you back in the Jack in the Box. So, Chris, all right, we're going to get ready and end out here. We can't thank you enough for being on here with us. It was awesome. So if you can tell our listeners very quickly where they can find you before we go to our last song here.
Absolutely. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/TJ TH3 Burns, like the with the number 3 Burns, TH3 Burns. And you can also go to my website and listen to some of the podcasts. Craig and Jenny are on there. It's beyourgps.com. So beyourgps.com, beyourgps.com, and you can find more of those great interviews. And also the 12-hour marathon is broadcasted every week on the Facebook profile as well. Would love to see you there and connect with you. Shoot me a message.
The
Facebook.com, beyourgps.com, and you can find more of those great interviews. And also the 12-hour marathon is broadcasted every week on the Facebook profile as well. Would love to see you there and connect with you. Shoot me a message. I'm looking forward to helping you become your greatest possible self.
Thank you, Chris, so much.
does.
And we will post all of that on the Craig and Jenny D Facebook page as well with a recording of today's show. So thank you all. Have an amazing week. We'll see you next Wednesday. And we are going to close out here with Till I'm Done by Paloma Faith. Have a great week, everybody.
All right, guys. And how he does 12 hours, I've no idea, because after 4, I need to lie down, a suck on a lemon, and put a flannel on my head.
No, you're going to go swimming.
Oh, no. No, I need some more. I need to put air in these armbands at the moment. At the moment, they're like used tea bags on my arms. Right, guys, have a brilliant day, and thanks a lot so much for a brilliant show again.
Take care.
All right, Chris, all the best. Take care. Bye now.
Take care.